that noise to stop. All right, everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. There may be some people that will be joining us in just a minute, but we're going to go ahead and start on our end. My name is Jill Patterson, and I'm a faculty member for Management 521. Other faculty members will be joining us as well. Hopefully yours will be on the line. We have many, many students here tonight, so I hope that all of you can please mute your lines if you're not speaking so we don't have all this background noise. That would be very, very helpful. And I'm going to go ahead and start my All right, hi everyone. We're getting started right now. And Eric, if you've joined us, please make sure you're admitting people from the lobby and answering questions so that I can get the other stuff going. This meeting is being recorded, and I will have it posted, or your faculty will post it in your classroom by tomorrow, so that those of you that aren't able to attend or want to reference back to it, it should be there, and it should allow you to make comments about it afterwards. I just wanted to say welcome to the University of Phoenix. Most of you are at the first week of your MBA program. Others of you are just the first week of Management 521. And we welcome you to this orientation and to the School of Business. We're excited to have you. But we do know that starting school up again for the first time can be a stressful situation, and there's a lot of anxiety that goes with it. And so we're hoping that this orientation will make you feel more comfortable about what's going on in your class, as well as make you feel confident about your ability to be successful and your desire to be successful. So here's some of the things that we hear a lot, some things that students have said when they're getting ready to start, and many of you might have these feelings. The thought of having I'll let you read them, but the thought of having panic attacks, or you haven't been in school for so long and now you're kind of scared coming back, what to expect. Some of you come into this live session to see if it would help and see if meeting an instructor will help you, overcome those anxieties. And we've had a lot of feedback from students saying that kind of meeting together in this orientation helps them want to continue, helps them want to persist, gives them some boosted confidence. So we're hoping that this does that for you as well. The format of tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of like a small type lecture. I don't want to really call it a lecture, but a little discussion about what's going on the first week of Management 521, and what it takes to be successful. And then I'm going to introduce you to some of the faculty members that are here so that they can introduce themselves and kind of give you something that they want to tell you that has to do with you being successful in this course and in this program. And so they will jump in at that point. And then we're going to kind of go over the assignment for week 1. I believe all of us have the same assignment for week 1. So we're going to look at that assignment and kind of go through some things that will help you not only in that assignment, but coming assignments in this class and others, so you feel confident going into the weekend that you can do this. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to talk a little bit about growth and your desire for growth in your life. And everyone wants to grow, wants to become better at something, whether that's in their career, in their education, personal life. But most choose not to grow because it is hard. It requires a lot of change and sacrifice. And so growth is hard, so it doesn't always happen. Motivation is a key component of making sure that you do succeed and that you can grow. And so this just kind of gives us the components of motivation. You know, you got the, so I'm going to do it because you're all starting school. Like, you get the idea, like, I want a college degree. A lot of people could have that, right? That's just the first thought. But it takes a lot to get to that goal, whether that's the college degree, making more money, better job, more opportunity. But the thing that we've seen with students is these are the things it takes, and all of them equal persistence. You have to engage persistently and collaborate and learn and apply, and it really is persistent that gets you to that goal. Just a second. It looks like our transcription's not working, maybe. Oh, let me make sure that they have the right information. I'm sorry, guys, to stop, but I do want everyone to be able to see this. So, I want to make sure. If you'll just give me 1 second, I'm going to figure this out, and then we'll continue. I just want to make sure that everyone can see this, and some need to be able to read it. So, I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, it looks like, I don't know why the transcription's not working, but I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. For those of you that really need the transcription, I will make sure that the recording has a transcription with it, because it doesn't look like whoever's doing the transcription here can see me or hear me. So I don't want to delay what we're already doing here, so we'll just go ahead and work without the transcription for now. I apologize for that. I wanted that to be set up for all of you, but okay, so the main thing that we were talking about is that persistence is needed for you to get to your goal, and that's the thing that we notice the most with successful students is their persistence. And so you'll learn a little bit about Lewin's forces of driving change behavior, and you can see, like, there's a lot of things working against this change to become your desired state. There's you as an individual just not wanting to, groups, organization, market, economy, all these different things that are kind of can be restraining forces, or they can are driving forces that can help you along the way. So, and over time, and with that persistence, you can reach your desired state. So how do we apply this? How do we decide? And many of you already have taken that first step. You've decided, like, I'm going to do school, and you probably are all here for a certain reason. And Lewin's change theory, and the text talks a little bit about this as well, is all about you change. So you're frozen, and then you make a change. Something's changing. There's movement. And then before you keep moving and moving and moving, and you refreeze and you kind of determine like what was learned from the change and what needs to be tweaked, and then you move again and then refreeze. And so that's the theory, that's the best way. Otherwise, you don't know whether the change, if you're not evaluating the change, you don't know if it's a positive one. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about university learning goals. There's 5 university learning goals for the University of Phoenix, and you should see a piece of each of these goals in every course you take. These are, no matter what program you're in, these are 5 skills we want you to develop while you're here. So I'll just talk for a second about some of them, just so that you know them. Professional competence and values. So basically, this is learning the stuff in your class and how it can be applied in your workplace, and how you engage in lifelong learning and improve your professional life. The next one is critical thinking and problem solving. This is something that any employer, one of their top things they're looking for when hiring is someone that can think critically and make decisions based on information. And so
at the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
The other one is, the next one is communication. And so you'll see this in the many different ways you present, whether that's presentations you do, or written communication, or learning to communicate with your faculty members or your teammates. Writing and speaking in a clear and concise and correct manner is an important skill for anyone wanting to improve their life and improve their work experience. The next one is information utilization. This is a really big one. If you guys have explored the library, and if you haven't yet, you should. There are so many resources, and so really knowing how to get to the information you want and being able to utilize it to make good decisions is a really important skill to develop, and it does take practice. It's not something that just comes naturally, so being able to practice that, and you will in almost every course, where you'll be asked to go out and do some research and analyze something and come back with a solution, and to make sure that the sources that you're using are credible is so important. And the last one, but not the least, is collaboration. And you'll see this a lot as you work in teams in your classes to achieve tasks. This is one that students can struggle with. We have quick classes, and you'll be put into all different types of groups, and so are different types of teams. And so really learning to have patience with people and to work to overcome issues, and to really learn how to bring people, as you lead others, helping to bring the best out of them, is an important skill and something that will you will see your whole life. So it's an important one. So I just want you to think about this. There's too many people in the line for us to take answers right now. But just something that you should reflect on when you think about these university learning goals is, what is the connection between achieving the university learning goals and becoming an effective manager? And what are actions we take to close the gap between where we are and where we want to be? And so when you look at these learning goals, think of ones that you feel like you already kind of have some mastery in, and then ones that you could learn a little bit more about, and really focus on those as you go through the program. Okay, so applying management concepts for success at school and career. So this class is management, and so You're going to learn a lot about the different theories in management and how you can
Message erased.
apply.
At the tone, please re-record your message. At the end of your message, press 1.
And this will give you an opportunity to see the theories of management and then see how they work in your workplace, and then learn how to apply these theories to practical things. And so here are the key concepts that you'll be discussing this week. And so you can see them right there. I just wanted to go over, before I let your faculty members tell you a little bit about what they think it takes to be successful in their course, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, or share with you a little bit about what other students have said, Management 521 students. These are ones that just finished Management 521, and what they've said about these steps to persistence, so that you can see what they've learned. So the first one is plan. I think a lot of it, they talk about SMART goals and setting aside time and time management and setting smaller goals so you don't become overwhelmed. I think that's a really good, planning really takes away some of the stress involved in going to school, like having a plan set out for how much you're going to accomplish each day so it doesn't all end up at the end of the week. Very important. Integrate. So integrate the course concepts to enhance your personal and professional life. So this isn't just something that you do in a box. Should be something every day that you're in school. You should be able to apply something going on in the classroom to something going on in your life, whether that's professionally or personally. And it helps to think of it that way, because then you'll be able to understand the topics better and be able to, it'll naturally be, you'll be able to apply them as you take them into your everyday life. And one of the things they mentioned, and I just wanted to draw out, is that the textbook is extremely helpful. I would recommend that you really dive into those readings and that you read with a purpose. It's not just reading word for word, but really looking at the objectives for the week and the assignment for the week and reading to learn to get to, for those assignments and for those objectives, and it will make it much more interesting. Engage. This is what some of the other students have said about engagement, and engaging with other students in the class really makes the experience a lot richer. And then this is one where we talk a little bit about how you manage what's going on in the classroom, and I like these ones, so I'm going to read them. Give yourself time to do each assignment, because the assignments take time to do, and it's not something you can do in one night. Always begin learning at the start of the week. Don't put things off. That's when we see a lot, like people think, I'll just do it over the weekend. But a lot of times you need to start assimilating the information before you get to the assignment so that you can fully understand the material. It makes the assignment much easier to do than trying to do all the learning and applying at the same time, because that's how you'll notice the classroom setup is for you to learn things and then apply them. And so having some time to think on those topics. You have reached the maximum time permitted for recording your message.
If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3.
I don't know why that keeps going off. Let me make sure.
Are you still there? You have reached the maximum time permitted for recording your message. If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3.
Okay. Embrace the change.
Are you still there? You have reached the maximum time permitted for recording your message. If you are satisfied with your message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3.
Um,
Sorry, you're having trouble. Your message has been sent. Goodbye.
Okay, good. So hopefully once you've completed this course, you'll feel more confident about your ability to do it, because you'll see some of the same setups each time, and so you'll gain confidence over time on how to be successful. I'm going to get back to our faculty here, because I want them to have a chance to kind of share some of their expertise and what they think, what they want you to go away from in this class, and how they think you can be successful. So I'm not sure all of them want to or can, but I'm just going to go down, and if you have something you want to add, this would be the time to do it. And your students are on the line, so I'm sure they'd at least like a little hello from you. So we'll start with Mike Cattermole.
Oh, good evening, everyone. My name's Mike Cattermole, and I've been teaching for the University of Phoenix now for about 16 years. And it's a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to teach all of you, and this is great. I guess I want to reiterate some points that have already been said, very important points when it comes to graduate school, especially in regards to two factors, critical thinking and problem solving. Those two are the two biggies that are important in academia as much as they are out as a practitioner in the workforce, especially if we're leaders or we're going to be future leaders. Those two things are very, very critical, and you'll learn that very quickly. Let's put it that way. So when you start doing research, you'll see that. You'll start identifying complex problems and learning how to identify ways of resolving those problems, and that will help you with practical application out into the workplace as a leader or a future leader, and that's very important. Another thing I want to kind of reiterate that has already been said, but very, very important. When you start school, especially graduate school, you may come in with a certain perception, whatever that perception may be. I don't know about this. I'm not sure about this. I'm nervous. I'm gung-ho and ready to go. Doesn't make a difference. We have this perception. And based on that, the idea is, we might start questioning ourselves a little bit. I think it's completely normal for individuals to go ahead and enroll in college, especially adult learners, and go, what have I done at some point? It's totally normal to feel that way. It's okay. But the idea is we have to kind of establish what our expectations are, what we want to get out of it. That's important. But what happens a lot of the times, to some, is that they have a certain degree of anxiety through the process, and that's okay too. That's completely normal. I'll question you if you're not even just a little bit anxious, because it happens that way. But the key issue here, as you pointed out before, it has to do with persistence. And that's the biggest part of this as far as being a graduate student. You have to be persistent, as you do as an employee or leader. So those points are awesome, and I really want you to be persistent with your academic studies. And there are going to be days where you might say, wow, I have a lot going on right now. I'm really, really busy. I have work, I have life, maybe family or something like that, whatever. And then I have school too. And there is a way to balance it all. So for the first course, understand that you're just adapting and adjusting to the process. And you're not expected to go ahead and, know everything right away. I tell a fun story. Some years ago, I was in the doctoral program here. I had an instructor tell our team that we were writing at the MBA level, and one of my colleagues was upset about it. I said, do you think we're supposed to write at the doctoral level? That's why we're here. We'll write at the doctoral level when we're done. So give yourself a break. You're here. Congratulations. Great job. But be persistent, and remember, many have done this before you, and many will do this after you. And I'm welcome, and I'm really happy all of you are here. This is a huge group. This is fantastic. So once again, welcome.
Thanks, Mike. we'll go to Logan McMurdo. I don't know if that's a faculty or not. How about Eric King? Norma Teron? Selena Walker?
I'm just a student.
Oh, okay. So some of these are, I know, Audrey Ellison.
I'm here.
Hi, Audrey.
Hello, Jill.
Have stuff you want to share with the students?
I do have a couple of things. I'd like to just say that I think everything Charles said is accurate and important. For me, one of the number one things is learn how to learn, because what you're starting out in, what your program is, could be something that disappears by the time you finish or so soon after you finish. So the important thing is to learn how to learn, to do critical thinking. I also want to repeat how important it is to manage your time effectively. If you leave everything until the end of the week, you are going to run out of time. You're going to create greater anxiety for yourself. And quite frankly, you have no idea what the end of the week has in store for you. I live in Florida. I've had lots of times when I'm teaching classes where I can't get online because I don't have any power because there's been a hurricane. I don't know if you heard it earlier, but there's a huge thunderstorm going on here right now, which constantly happens, and sometimes I lose power. What happens if you lose power on Sunday and you haven't finished everything? You have no recourse. So plan your time. Do your postings early in the week so you can get your assignments in at the end of the week. Use sources and use the library. The MBA program is not the next course in your bachelor's degree. There's more requirements, there's higher levels of things that you need to do. So make sure that you are doing research and not just giving us your opinion. The end of the week, not only power and technology, you could get sick, a family member could get sick. There's all kinds of things that could happen at the end of the week, and if you leave everything to Sunday, you're not going to get it done. Break it up for the week. I would do my postings at the beginning of the week and my assignment at the end of the week. So, and I think all of the things that Jill and Charles have said are accurate, and I look forward to, I see some of my students are in this group, and we will be having weekly sessions. Ours will be on Wednesday, and every week we will meet online to discuss what's going on, and I encourage everyone to participate. Thanks, Jill.
Yeah, great. Do we have any other faculty that want to say hi and to present something? Okay, well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the classroom, so I'm going to go ahead and present again. So we're going to look at our first assignment, and just so you guys can see, we can go through kind of how to be successful in it, and other faculty, if while I'm going through this, if you have suggestions you have for your students, you can jump in as well. But I just kind of wanted to walk you through it so you'll feel comfortable going into this week. And I don't know how every faculty does their live sessions, but this is generally, if I do a live session, this is kind of one of the aspects of it, is kind of giving feedback on the last week's assignments and then kind of prepping students for the current ones. So it is a good idea if your faculty is holding one to be there. It really is helpful to you. Okay, so of course you have participation, and then here is the week 1 assignment, and they're all kind of set up in a similar way where they give you the purpose of it and of the assignment before they give you the instructions on it. So down here you'll see, here are the instructions on what you should do. And this one has quite a bit of information, but it looks like what you're going to be doing is completing the worksheet. So you'll open it up here. Okay, so this is what the worksheet looks like, and you saw a little earlier I had it up, but and what's so great about it is it's kind of already set up in APA formatting, which is something that you're going to learn fairly quickly because you'll be using it in all your courses. But that's kind of how this title page is set up. So you just fill in the information that's needed, and then here's the worksheet. And so basically you're going to just summarize. This is kind of a definitions type section right here, this first thing, and you'll find a lot of this from your textbook, but you can certainly go into the library and find articles or other textbooks even, but you can find a lot of this just in your textbook, and you'll just cite it here, and then over here is how you're going to apply it. And so it kind of gives you both. So this is more like theory and then application. And that's how the assignment is set up. But you'll always notice you won't normally have faculty materials, but what you will have is you'll have student materials here on the side. And when it gives you the chapter readings, that means those have, are directly related to this assignment. So that's a good thing. And then a lot of times it gives you other resources. Sometimes you'll see a rubric here that you can look at, and if there's a rubric, I would always suggest looking at the rubric. It'll show what the faculty is looking for when grading the assignment. It'll help you as you complete the assignment. This one right here gives you ideas about becoming. Well, the first one is becoming an instant APA. I would highly recommend that you use this because it shows you how to use Microsoft Word, because you can just go into Microsoft Word and set up an APA paper and put in the information and it just creates it for you. So then you have a template and you can just use it. And that's the thing that I really wanted to draw attention to. It also has other things here about how to create a reference cited page and how to create a bibliography. Very, very good. But this becoming an APA expert, I recommend every student look at it because it makes it so much easier. Because you'll go into the library and there's such great resources there, and there's a lot of them. And so when you look at the Center for Writing Excellence, there's so many things to go through. Hopefully your faculty will give you some of their favorites. But I think a good place to start is right inside of Word where you're doing the assignment. It'll help you tremendously. And I just wanted to ask, do any of the other faculty members, do you have any recommendations for the first week, what they should be aware of either in the discussion or in the assignments?
Yeah, this is Mike again. How are you? The number one question I get is, what's a substantial post? And to me, there's no quick rule on that. I find that, especially the first course, the word count's around 100 or so, 100 words. I don't count words. I don't think that means something substantial, so to speak. I also look for quality. At the same time, in the first course, since the students are kind of learning, it's a new experience, I kind of guide them along. But I actually was talking to a student about that today. I said a lot of students from the onset, I mean, at high level, I'm not able to quantify it, but it's most of the time, like beyond belief, they post substantial posts. So they worry about, I think sometimes, am I analyzing them, looking at every little detail? No, no, no. That's not kind of the way it works. As far as the assignments are concerned, especially for the week one worksheet, this is a good time to practice, especially in regards to APA. It's very important what you'll learn through this process for this course and for future courses too, is that whenever you're in a situation, if you have a thought in your mind and you think you may have gained some insight, your own words, some insight from another author, cite the author, and you're good to go. As far as the specific formatting, Microsoft Word has this template, as previously mentioned, where you can go ahead and just set everything up and it's automated. I don't know why I never had that. I wish I had that. I never had that. I guess they updated that over the years. So I really encourage you just to take your time and practice and get well versed with APA and writing and the like. And, you will develop. You will grow quite a bit. You'll be amazed at the end of your program at how much you've learned and how much you can do. So hang in there and just enjoy. But as far as the posts, if you have questions, ask your instructor about it. Ask me about it. My students, ask me about it. I'll let you know. But other than that, get in there and enjoy it and have some passion for what you're doing, which I know you will, and it'll be great.
Thank you.
The things that I think can make people successful, and especially important in this first week, is really think about your postings. You need to go beyond your opinion and your experience. Use sources as much as you can. Text at minimum in your references. In your postings. And the worksheet also calls for sources. This is not just your opinion about what something is. You need to be doing the research. And just be really careful to Google your way through, because Google gets you into, first, purchase paper sites, secondly, blogs, third, places that are trying to sell you things, and references that may not be credible or reliable. Learn to use the library. I think it's week 3 or 4 in my group, when we do our live meeting, we're going to be doing an exercise on how to use the library. So learn to use it. It's a really excellent tool, and make sure everything is backed up. That might be something some of you did not do as undergrads, but you really, in a graduate program, everything needs to have some sort of a citation and reference.
Okay, one other thing I was thinking, this is Jill again. One thing I was thinking about for students is not to be afraid to ask questions. I feel like there's times where a student, they wait till I reach out to them because something's going wrong, and then they say, oh, I didn't understand how to do this. It's okay not to understand. We're all here to learn. And so please ask questions. And when you do, some faculty members have a questions thread in their classroom. Others, you send an individual message to them. And I would suggest doing that individual message, simply because occasionally I get students who bury a really important question inside of a thread of discussion about a topic, and I don't see it for a couple days, where I see those questions inside that individual form thing right away. So if you have an important question, make sure you pose it there, and don't just add it on to the end of a participation post, because it may not be seen by the faculty member right away, or they may not realize that you're asking them directly. They may think you're just posing the question to the class. So make sure you do that so that you get the information you need in a timely manner. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we have about 15 minutes left, And I'm going to open it up to students. If you have questions about the material I've presented, about something that Mike or Audrey has mentioned, or about what you've seen in class this week, we'd be happy to answer your questions. So you can either ask them out loud and please state your name, or you can type them into the conversation and I will see them there and answer.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paula Ayala, and I'm in El Paso, Texas. I have a quick question. I was a little confused as far as of the attendance policy and the number of posts that need to be posted during the week. I am aware that we do need to post 8 times a week within I guess a time span of, is it 3 days? But there's also an attendance policy on top of that, right? So I'm not sure if it is expected from us to like somehow check in every other day, or I read somewhere on a lot of the paperwork that on one of the papers that there was some sort of expectation from us on checking in maybe every other day or something like that. I don't know if you can just explain.
Yeah, I can answer that. So the participation requirement is really for you to learn the topics, and it also you are graded on participation, and that is the 8 substantive posts over 3 days. Attendance is more of a clerical thing that we see students in class on 2 separate days during the week. That doesn't give you credit. It just says that you were in attendance. So if you miss attendance twice, like on 2 different weeks, you would be automatically dropped from the class, like you're not attending. So as long as if you're working towards participation, then you shouldn't have to worry about.
Sorry, we can't hear you. You're coming in and out. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Can people please put their phones on mute? Okay. So if you're meeting participation requirements, then you're automatically meeting attendance. So attendance is just saying that you've posted at least something in any forum on 2 different days during the week. It's not for credit or anything. So your participation, where you're responding to other students or to your faculty member under those learning activities, that counts towards both. Does that make
Perfect.
sense?
Thank you so much. Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep. Does anyone else?
Hi, my name is Joelle Grayson. I had a question about this week's assignment. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, the question I had, I started the worksheet earlier today, and I basically used the source for the video and the work, our chapter 1 and 2 for our book. Doing the first column where I summarized the definitions, I, answered the questions, and then I cited, if I took it verbatim word for word for the book, I cited it at the end. Now, on the cite column, are you wanting the same thing as far as putting in that cite again there? So I was kind of confused on that portion of it.
Okay. So what you would do is when you're identifying it inside of that columns inside the spreadsheet, you would just all you have to do is give the author and the date, and then in parentheses if that's what you're citing, where it's coming from. The only time you have to do a full citation where you write it all out with the title and everything is at the bottom on the reference page. So inside of the worksheet, you can just be putting the title and the date, the author and date. Who is someone? Let's see if I can see everyone.
I can't hear you.
Just a second. Let's see if I can hear you. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we lost you for a little bit, but you're back.
Okay, I've muted everyone else, but I don't know if Can you hear me?
Now, yes.
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great. I've just muted everyone else just so that you can hear. But what I was saying about citing inside your worksheet or in anything, you do an in-text citation inside of when you're talking, when you take something from the text or any other thing, and if you've paraphrased something and it comes from somewhere else, then at the end you would just in parentheses put the author and the date. The only place where you need a full citation is at the bottom where it says references. And so anything that you've put in, cited up in the worksheet ends in the reference page with a full citation. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
I'm gonna go ahead and unmute, but please, everyone. Does anyone else have questions?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, my name is LaWanna Wesley.
Hi.
I have a question for instructor Audrey. How would you suggest that we start the worksheet?
For me, I think if you just go down, look at each question, find the place in the book where it's talked about. So start with your definitions, which is in the first column. The second column is asking you where you got your information from. And the third column is what I would do last, because that's taking it and applying it. Does that help, Luana?
Yeah, because I'm looking at it and I was just trying to figure out, should we go like across or should we just do one section at a time?
You actually can do it any way you like. I would do it one section at a time.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm so sorry. I'm going to bother you guys again. Once again, this is Paula Salas. I had a quick question as well. I did get a little bit of anxiety when I logged in for the first time into the portal, and I was a little confused. I wasn't sure what would be the ideal way to tackle the activities and homeworks. Do you suggest that we read first the chapters and then jump into the discussions and activities or homeworks? Also, if I know the week ends on, I believe the week starts on Tuesday and ends on Monday. Is Monday 11:59 p.m. the last? Is that our deadline to turn in activities?
Okay, so I will answer that question. I think the best way, obviously everyone learns different ways, but I think it makes most sense at the beginning of the week to look at your assignment for that week and to look at those discussion questions just before you, not necessarily enter anything in the discussion or do the assignment, but read through all of that, and then you can tailor your reading of the other learning activities based on what you're going to want to like produce at the end. It just helps you be more focused in your reading, and so that you know that you're trying to come to some answers, and it makes it so that, for me, that makes me more focused when I'm looking for specific things as I read. So that's how I would suggest you tackle it. And that way you can kind of decide which things are the most important or that you'll get the most out of and kind of plan your time that way. As far as the deadline, the default deadline is the Monday at 11:59 that everything needs to be turned in. But based on different faculty members, they may have a different due date. So I know some have things due on Sunday or on Saturday or something like that. So you do want to look at your syllabus and see which day it's due. But anytime there's whatever day it is, it's at 11:59 Phoenix time that it's due. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hi, this is Latoya Harper. I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. I just want to make. Hello?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, because I did put the question in the chat and someone responded, but I just wanted to make sure that I was just doing the right thing. On the worksheet assignment, I'm on the very last page, which is page 5, and it says self-evaluation. So we are to complete that ourselves and then upload it, or is that something that our faculty member completes for us?
Let me look at it really quick.
I didn't, this is Audrey. I didn't have my students do the evaluation at the end. I don't know if other faculty require it. So my suggestion to you is to check with your faculty member to see if they want you to do the evaluation.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Jill.
Yes.
Hi, this is Lisa Jackson. I have a question. I want to do these postings.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep track. I'm trying to keep track of how many postings that I've done. I know you have to do 8 over 3-day period, correct? So my question to you is, how do I keep track? So I'm doing so much at one time. I'm reading. I'm trying to read other people's posts. I'm trying to post. I'm trying to do so much at one time. I lose track of how many posts I've done, and I want to make sure I do 8 within the 3 days.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do I
show you this? I can show you how to do that. So, one thing is, when you're on this homepage, hopefully you all can see it. When you're on this homepage, you can click off tasks here, of course. So it usually has your assignment stuff, so you can click off when you've done it. But the other thing is, if you go right here to My Activity, you can see how many posts that you've done. Here, just a sec. I'm going to view everyone again.
And when you go into your activity, many faculty will grade everything as they read it, and you count the number of S's that you have. And that way you can tell how many you've got each day.
Okay, I'm in here now. S's. Okay. Some of them don't have S's. I've made comments and
it just means that they haven't gotten to it yet.
It could be that the faculty member hasn't read it yet, which would be that why you might not have an S yet. And if it was from 2 days ago, you might ask about it. I know that for myself, sometimes I'm so focused on responding to the student that I forget to put the S. And if somebody asks me why they didn't get an S, I would say 90% of the time it was because I missed it, and I'll fix it. So it could be that reason that you haven't seen an S yet, or it could be the faculty member hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but my name is Deandra Blissett. Back to her comment. When I go in and I look at week 1 and under week 1 participation, and if you click on participation right next to instructors, it's a tab that says instructors, and then it says participation, then it says grading. It says I have 4 total S's, but I made posts on Thursday, so it's kind of hard to track how many S's I have to continue to meet the satisfaction of 8 within 3 days.
I guess I'm a little bit confused. If you're seeing 4 S's now, then you just need 4 more over the rest till Monday.
Oh, until Monday. Okay. I was confused on the 3 days.
Oh, yeah. Any 3 days of the week. Any 3 days of the week. Or it could be more days. You could go in and post 5 days a week if you wanted, but it has to be at least 3 days and at least 8 posts. That's kind of what we're looking for.
Oh, got it. Okay, so I have more time to get in 4 more. Basically, I posted
Right,
one today.
You could do one today and you could do two tomorrow, or however, you know what I mean, and then one the last day. It's really up to you how you participate.
Okay, it can be a post that I'm just responding to a student. It doesn't have to be starting from the instructor's post.
No,
It can start.
it can be just a response to another student.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We have a few more minutes.
I'm sorry. There was a lot of interference when you were answering her question. So I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said that we just have to post at least 8 times over 3 days. Within 3 days. It doesn't have to be 3 consecutive days. Just within the 3-day time frame, we would have to have posts at least 8 times.
Right. So I just muted people so that you could hear me clearly. So the class starts, Tuesday through Monday is a week. Any 3 days between Tuesday and Monday, you participate, you'll get credit if you're substantively participating. During that time, you have to do 8 posts. So you can pick any 3 days during the week and receive credit. Does that make sense to everyone?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm still confused. I'm sorry, because there's the class starts Tuesday, and the last day is Monday. The following, next Monday. So when you keep saying 3 days, I'm thinking, okay, I gotta have 8 posts in 3 days. So the class starts Tuesday, so I gotta start posting there. And what I'm thinking is do 3 on Tuesday, 3 on Wednesday, and 3 on Thursday. That's 9. So I'll make sure I get all my posts in within those 3 days. What happened to all the other days?
You have to do 3 days over the 7-day week. Yeah. So the class starts on Tuesday. You could do 3 on Tuesday, 3 on Thursday, 3 on Saturday. You don't have, it's not 3 days in a row. It's a total of 3 days.
Yeah. So if what you're saying, so if what you're saying is that you could post 3 on Tuesday, you could post 3 on Wednesday, and then you could post 2 times tonight. And that would be all the participation you would have to do for the week. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. I just want to make sure I get all my posts in, because I don't want to do all this work and miss one post. If I miss one post, does that erase all the other posts that I've done? I don't get credit for anything?
No. You'll get credit for all of your posts. So if you end up posting, let's say you do 6 messages on 3 days, over 3 days, then you'll get partial credit. You don't get, it's not just like you either participate or you don't. So let's say for your class, if there are 4 points available and you post 6 out of 8, then you would most likely receive 3 points for participation. So you would get 3 out of 4. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you receive partial credit along the way.
Thank you for clarifying. Thanks.
Okay, we're right at the top of the hour, so I want to make sure that we end on time. But if you still have questions, you can stay on the line, and I will stay and answer some more questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a very good night, and I'll make sure your faculty all have this presentation ready so that you can see it in your classroom tomorrow. All right? Have a good night, everyone.
I have another question. This is Deandra. I just wanted to make sure that basically I get credit for it tonight. So how do you, is it a list already when we join the session that'll say our name so we can get our participation credit this way as well?
So each faculty member is handling that a little bit differently. So you'll want to make sure that you do read their instructor policies to see. But if they are giving you credit for being part of the live session, I know the way that I handle it is I will post the recording in my classroom, And then if you participated in the call or you listened to the recording afterwards, I post a couple questions in there, just kind of allowing you to answer something that you, just to show that you participated in it, and that's how I keep track, is inside the classroom. So tomorrow when you go into class and you see the live session, just respond to it so that your faculty member knows that you were in attendance.
Okay, is that an announcement that he's gonna actually post to let us know, or?
I would suggest that you ask your faculty member if it's not clearly stated in the instructor policies in the classroom. I would send a personal message to your faculty member and ask them how they're handling that.
Okay, for when you're saying policies, where is it located on?
Oh, so you should be able to see it right here usually. Watch, I'll show you where. Usually you'll see there's usually right below this academic policies. Mine's messed up right now. You'll see policies academic, and then there should be classroom policies or the instructor policies right there. If they're not there, then it should be like mine is with my welcome note, because they were having issues with it, that you can click on and open it.
Okay. All right. I'll check it. If not, I'll give them. I'll just send a private.
Otherwise, you just ask, because your instructor policy should be right there.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone
Yes,
else?
ma'am. I have a question.
Sure.
Yes. My name is Tanya Holmes. I just joined the conference call because my lights were out and I couldn't get onto the conference. And I just got on at the last minute. How do I let my instructor know? Do I just do a private message to her to let her know the difference in getting on the call?
Yeah, and I am recording it, so your instructor should be able to post it in the class by tomorrow, and so you could listen in to the rest.
I just want to make sure that I get credit for, participating because I'm sorry.
Yeah, just let your faculty member know and see what they say.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Manella Roberts. As I'm reading the textbook, at the end of each chapter, there's a self-assessment which says to go to a website, which happens to be McGraw-Hill. And the reason for the self-assessment is to, test what you've read. But when I tried to register, it wouldn't allow me to, and then I called technical support, and they said that portion of the text isn't a part of the University of Phoenix, so I shouldn't have to worry about it. But I just wanted to confirm if that is the case.
I think I need to see it. You called our tech support?
I'm sorry, I can't hear right now.
She asked you if you had called Phoenix Tech Support. I'm pretty sure that is accurate, that there's no connection to that McGraw-Hill.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what he said. But I just wanted to confirm.
Right, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out our meeting. Thank you for joining tonight, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Good night, Jill.
You too.
Good night, Audrey.